The views and opinions of the guests on the WYLEANER show are those of the guests and are not necessarily the views and opinions of the hostess WYLEANER and or her co-host.
She's always dealing with reality. With love she imparts her songs of the heart. She knows that food for thought will make you grow. Come on and find out what you need to know. 'Cause learning is the golden road where the rubber meets the road. From Las Vegas, the WYLEANER Show.
Hey, everybody! Woo! I'll tell you what, I'm back with y'all one more time. I know you say, where you been, WYLEANER? Where you been? I wasn't here last week. Yeah, we did a little rerun. Well, what can I tell you? I had to just take a minute for some me time. And that's all. I didn't leave you for good, y'all, because I love y'all too much. So I had to come back. And I am back, and I'm excited to be back. Today, I'm just excited about the show today. Today is going to be just a little bit of a different turn for the WYLEANER show. Not what you're normally used to, accustomed to. We're going to do something different. But I want to welcome everybody back to the WYLEANER show. All of those of you who are out there watching and tuning in on KKVV.com and WYLEANERTVShow.com and all of those who are listening on KKVV 1060 AM on your Las Vegas radio dial. I am WYLEANER, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel, and I am so excited to be with you again today. I want to say hello to the staff here at KKVV and all of my family members, my husband, my children, everybody. Hey, I got some kids that has birthdays. My daughter's birthday was last Saturday, and today is my son's birthday. Albert and Samantha, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you from your mama. I love y'all, and I just want to say, boy, I tell you, I'm happy to be back, and I've got something different for y'all today. It's going to be a little bit more serious, okay? So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, y'all know what's going to happen. The rubber is going to meet the road. We'll see you in a minute.
Hi, this is WYLEANER, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. First of all, I really do appreciate you listening and viewing my show every week. I would greatly appreciate your financial assistance as well to keep my show on the air. Please just make some type of contribution. $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 or more. Whatever you desire. Please log on to www.WYLEANERTVShow.com and click the pay button. Or please send your check or money order to WYLEANER, that's spelled WYLEANER, to 420 North Nellis Boulevard, Suite A3, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89110. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the show, please call 702-242-2100 or email me at WYLEANERTVShow@AOL.com. That's all for now, and thanks again for your continued support. Blessings to you too, and this is where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm back, and, well, y'all know I'll be cutting up. If I have to say so myself, I just be cutting up on the WYLEANER show. But I'm going to have to try to cool my roll a little bit today because of the fact that I am dealing with something today that is extremely out of the ordinary. I would say just for the WYLEANER show, it's totally out of the ordinary. So I'm going to have to just kind of cool my roll a little bit, you know, something that I'm not used to doing. Y'all know how I am. I'm wild and crazy, and I love having fun, and I love doing the mostest of the mostest. But today I'm going to have to take a pill, a little chill pill, you know. But anyway, what's going to happen is the phone lines will be open today for this particular show, let me explain to you all exactly a little bit about what the show is going to be about today. Today, we, if you were tuned in a couple weeks ago, last week we just did a replay, but a couple weeks ago we had, I had a lady that called in from West Palm Beach, Florida, and she is the founder of an organization called M.A.M.A, and that stands for Mothers Against Murderers Association. And she talked to us a little bit and kind of gave us a little bit of insight on what the organization was about. And after hearing her talk, I decided to just kind of deviate a little bit and just kind of chat with her. And also, I have another special guest, a very, very special guest. And this young lady is a very good friend of mine who has dealt with this type of trauma in her family. So what we're going to be talking about today on the WYLEANER Show, we're not going to talk to the religious leaders today. We're going to talk to Miss Angela Williams in regards to M.A.M.A, Mothers Against Murderers Association, and we're going to talk about victims and how it affects families and how it affects people that have lost a loved one by way of violence. So, and I have a very special guest on with me today, and I'm going to be introducing her in just a moment. But what I want to do is let you all know, I just want y'all to know, y'all know I can cut up, but I'm capable of cooling off a little bit. You know, I'm capable of chilling and, you know, being just kind of cool. So that's what I'm going to do today, okay? So, but I'll be back next week acting crazy. So anyway, but today I really want to be on the very serious side here. So I want the callers to know that you are welcome to call in once we get the dialogue going if you have any questions, or if you have words of encouragement for my guest that I have with me today, my guest that's sitting with me right now. If you're watching out there on WYLEANERTVShow.com or KKVV.com, you see that I have a young lady sitting here with me. And then also, if you're listening, you will hear the voice of a young lady from West Palm Beach, Florida, who is actually waiting right now on the line. So what will happen, if you want to call in, you can call in at 702-650-5588. That's 702-650-5588. And for those of you who are out there wherever in other cities, states, countries, whatever, dial 1-800-366-8883. That's 1-800-366-8883. Now, please keep in mind that today's show is going to be very touchy, and if you're calling in, call in with encouraging words and, you know, something, or something that you can relate to. If you can relate to the person and you've been through something similar or whatever, call in and share your story. I'd like for you to email me, too, whenever you feel like emailing me at WYLEANERTVShow@AOL.com. That's WYLEANERTVShow@AOL.com. And that's pretty much it. You know, you can call if you want to be a guest on the show for our regular format, 702-242-2100. 702-242-2100. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get ready to get a little serious here, and we're going to talk to these ladies about this particular situation. So, but we're going to take a quick break, and when we take this break, when we come back, I'm going to introduce my guest to you, okay? So thanks again for tuning in. I'm WYLEANER, Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. See you in a minute.
Hi, this is WYLEANER, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. First of all, I really do appreciate your listening and viewing my show every week. I would greatly appreciate your financial assistance as well to keep my show on the air. Please just make some type of contribution. $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 or more. Whatever you desire. Please log on to www.WYLEANERTVShow.com and click the pay button. Or please send your check or money order to WYLEANER, that's spelled WYLEANER, to 420 North Nellis Boulevard, Suite A3, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89110. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the show, please call 702-242-2100 or email me at WYLEANERTVShow@AOL.com. That's all for now. And thanks again for your continued support. Blessings to you too. And this is where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, everybody. Now we're back, and I want to introduce my first guest to you. I'm going to start by introducing my guest that's on the line from West Palm Beach, Florida, and her name is Miss Angela Williams. And Miss Angela Williams is on the line right now, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and do a little introduction, and then I'm going to bring her on board. Okay? Mothers Against Murderers Association, which M.A.M.A. It's M.A.M.A. is what M.A.M.A. stands for. When someone dies in Palm Beach County by violence, the ripple effect of grief somehow sooner or later seems to wash up at Angela Williams' doorstep. She has lost 8 family members to murder in the 7 years since she formed the Mothers Against Murderers Association, M.A.M.A. The group counsels grieving mothers, and when they are ready, brings them to speak about the damage the murder has done to survivors, including children too young to remember a slain parent. When her 29-year-old nephew was shot on New Year's Day, 2003, Miss Williams recalls, "I asked God for some guidance. I needed a vision. I needed something. Then I was riding down 45th Street. I said, I'm going to start an organization to help others. I wanted to do something with the word mama. M.A.M.A. was founded by Angela Williams in memory of her nephew, Tory Donnell Manuel, who lost his life due to a senseless act of violence. His death is indeed an unspeakable tragedy. In addition to that, she also has lost 5 nephews and 2 nieces to gun violence in Palm Beach County, Florida. The program's mission is to assist surviving parents or guardians of murder victims. They also are dedicated to providing quality programs for youth that will turn them away from violent acts. Despite the group's title, the mothers are seldom against murderers. In fact, Williams counsels women that they will never get past the death of a loved one if they focus on the killer. Since many cases remain unsolved, it is often not possible to assign blame. When the mothers feel they are ready to speak to a group, Williams takes them to prisons and youth facilities where they tell their stories to the inmates in the hope that someone will hear their message of the wide-ranging damage done by murder and take it to heart. In twice-a-month group sessions, Williams sees women moving through rage to forgiveness and eventually to advocacy. And I just want everyone to know that it is my total and ultimate pleasure to welcome on the line Miss Angela Williams, calling in from West Palm Beach, Florida. Angela, are you there? Hello, Angela, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me, WYLEANER?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. It was very nice of you to introduce me. And it's very nice for you to have me on your show this evening.
Well, I want to welcome you. First and foremost, I want to welcome you to the WYLEANER show, and I want to let you know that we're sure that it's going to be very touch and go here for a little while. I have a very special guest that I'm going to be introducing as well, Angela, and what we're going to do, Angela, We're going to be taking another break in just a second here, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce my other guest, okay? And then we're going to start talking with each other, okay?
Okay, yes.
All right, so hang on there with me just for a minute, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi, this is WYLEANER, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. First of all, I really do appreciate your listening and viewing my show every week. I would greatly appreciate your financial assistance as well to keep my show on the air. Please just make some type of contribution. $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 or more. Whatever you desire. Please log on to www.wyleanertvshow.com and click the pay button. Or please send me a check or money order to WYLEANER, that's spelled WYLEANER, to 420 North Nellis Boulevard, Suite A3, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89110. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the show, please call 702-242-2100 or email me at WYLEANERTVShow@AOL.com. That's all for now, and thanks again for your continued support. Blessings to you too, and this is where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, we're back, and right now it's me and Angela. And Angela, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my special guest that's sitting here with me today, and this lady is a very good friend of mine. You're with me, right, Angela? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right. So I have with me today a very special lady. She's very special to me. She has such a big heart, and I requested that she come on the show and share her story. And her story is very traumatic as well, and she can definitely relate to this particular type of situation because of the fact that it has touched her home. And I'm going to introduce my friend, Miss Deborah Bray. Deborah Bray is going to tell us about herself because I told her, I said, Deborah, you know you, and God know you better than I know you, okay? So, Deborah, I want to welcome you to the show today.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very good right now, actually.
All right. You know what, Deborah? I just want you to know that I am so happy that you took time to come out of your comfort zone and step outside of the box and be on the WYLEANER show and share your story with the world, really, the entire world. Okay?
Thank you.
So would you like to say something? Tell us a little bit about who you are, girl.
All right.
Okay.
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me, and I want to say hello to Miss Angela and to tell you that I applaud your courage to form such an organization. I know how difficult it is. I'm just Debbie, a mother, a lover of Christ, and knowing that through all the tragedy that I have experienced through the death of my son, it was only God who brought me through.
All right. Okay. So, Deborah, how long have you been in Las Vegas?
I have been a resident of Las Vegas, Nevada for approximately 20 years now.
Girl, you almost a Las Vegan. I mean, I think I got you beat, but you almost a Las Vegan.
Almost.
Yeah. Okay, well, Deborah, we're going to get into a little bit more discussion about your story in just a moment, but I'd like to talk with Miss Angela for a moment, if you don't mind, and I'd like to allow Miss Angela to talk to us a little bit about, well, you know what, Miss Angela,
Yes.
What I think I want to do, I had some information that I wanted to actually share with the world and with y'all as well. You know, some information that I acquired, and so I think I'd like to share that information first, and then I would like to ask you, being the expert that you are, Angela, to elaborate on this information that I'm going to share with everyone, okay?
Okay.
All right. This is an article that I pulled up, and it's called Survivors of Homicide Victims. Okay, it says each year approximately 15,000 men and women and children are victims of criminal homicide in the United States. As staggering as that figure is, it does not begin to indicate the toll of suffering that homicide extracts. If one estimates that each of its victims is survived by a minimum of 3 loved ones for whom the violent death will produce deep and bitter grief, the annual casualty rate escalates to over 45,000 individuals. And if one appreciates the intensity and duration of the trauma suffered by these survivors, we can conservatively estimate that we have in our midst approximately 500,000 wounded and scarred Americans, all victims of the murders of just the past decade. The purpose of this information bulletin is to describe some of the concerns of survivors of homicide victims, discuss some of the problems and situations they face in day-to-day life, and suggest some guidelines. So, Miss Angela,
Yes.
how does that sound to you, and what can you share with us in relation to that and in relation to Mama?
That is so true, what you just read. When these mothers, and of course fathers too, but when these mothers lose their loved ones to violence like that, they are scarred. And, it's a devastation. Only a mother who has went through that will understand losing a child, because that mother carried that child for 9 months or 8 months or whatever, and then it's just taken away from them in a matter of seconds. And it's not easy, and people don't understand. And I find that with a group of women, mothers, they don't understand that a mother does not heal overnight.
Wow.
You can't heal overnight. It's a long, when I tell you, WYLEANER, and I know, of course, Deborah knows this, it's a long process.
Yes.
A long process.
Yes.
And that's why in my organization, I don't close the doors on a 9-week healing. Some people have sessions for 9 weeks. I don't believe in 9 weeks, because I know it takes a longer process.
Okay. So you're saying that there's other organizations that are out there that mentor and accommodate, but they have like a 9-week type program. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Some organizations does. They don't. Some of them don't. They're not able to keep counseling those mothers. But see, we don't have a time limit on healing in my group.
All right.
I guess maybe due to funding. I don't know what their policies is, but I know with my organization we don't do that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Angela. Who are some of the survivors of homicide victims? I notice you're saying mamas, but is it always mothers? I mean,
no, it's everyone. I just say, the mama name came to me because I was thinking about my sister at the time when she lost her son. That's why I came up with this. But when I'm talking about mothers against murders, I'm talking about everyone, especially the fathers. They're hurting too. They just don't show it the way the mothers do, emotionally wise. But everybody is hurt when they lose a loved one to violence.
I mean, it could be sisters and brothers and
siblings. Everybody's affected by this.
Yes.
We just the mothers. The pain of a mother, I'm telling you, it's just very, very hard for them to bear. Opposed to a sibling. A sibling going to heal. They're going to grieve a little differently than that mother.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Well, I can relate somewhat to pain of a mother, suffering of a mother, not from murder victim violence like that, but I do I do have a son that was stolen from me when he was just 1 year old. And it took me 20 years to find him. So my son, when I found my son, he spent his 21st birthday meeting his mother, his sister, and his brother. And with that being said, the hurt and pain that I suffered over the first 2 years was nothing but nightmares every single night. I had nightmares every night, waking up crying for my baby back. And, it was pretty, it was pretty serious. So I was blessed, after 20 years of searching for my son, because my son was one of the first children whose face was on a milk carton, whose picture was on a milk carton back when they used to do that. And my son picture was on a milk carton, and I had him registered with Missing Children's Network, Missing and Exploited Children, and Hide and Seek Foundation. I literally came to Las Vegas in the first place because I was in search of my missing child. And I registered him with Nevada Child Seekers as well. But I can safely say that the Almighty Creator was the one that made the decision to give me my child back, and none of those organizations did that for me. But I suffered. I suffered a lot of pain, and I can't even begin to describe the pain that I suffered behind losing my child for so long. And I always thought that once I found him that I wouldn't be able to take it. I thought I would have a heart attack or something. I didn't think I was going to be strong enough to deal with seeing my son again for the first time in 20 years, and knowing that the last time I laid eyes on him, he had just started walking. And so, I didn't think I was going to be able to deal with it, but, the Almighty gave me the strength that I needed to go through what I had to go through and face meeting my son and my two children that I raised. I always told them about their brother, and I never forget my son that I raised used to tell me all the time. He said, "Mama, when I grow up, if you don't find my brother, when I grow up, I'm going to look for my brother." And, that was like, it always stuck with me. But I'll never forget the day I found him. And anyway, I'm not even going to get into it. But I do have a box of Kleenex here, Angela, just so you know. For me and Debbie, we got Kleenex. So, just in case we need it, we got it here, But go ahead. I'd like to allow Angela, if you don't mind, I'd like to allow Debbie to share her story with you and our listeners and, our listeners and our viewing audience. I would like to allow Debbie to share her story with you and everyone else. Debbie?
All right, thank you. Let me let you know, this is actually the first time I've spoken out about my son's murder, and that's because I never wanted to really deal with the pain. I didn't want it to resurface and take me back to that moment all over again. However, I've been praying that the Holy Spirit would do a work in me so that I can get through this, because quite honestly, it has put up barriers in my life. And my son was murdered 10 years ago at the age of 28. And the coroners told me they stopped counting the bullet shots after 40. That was devastating to me, because I instantly felt a great deal of guilt because I was not there to protect my son. I know they don't have any super bulletproof vest that I could have even used to deflect the bullets, but as a mother, you feel that you should have always been there to protect your child.
Yeah.
I have not been able to really grieve as I feel I should or need to, because he has siblings. I have 2 other sons and a daughter, and for them to see their mother's pain, I felt that that would make them go through more pain, and I didn't want them to experience it. So much I have held in. I have gone to counseling, but the professionals were advising me of things that were contrary to the Word of God. So I couldn't accept it. They would tell me things like sit in a quiet place and your son would come back to you and tell you that it's okay. Well, you know what? That's contrary to the Word of God. The Bible says the dead know not nothing. So I could not relate to them. So I just stopped going to counseling, period, and just dealing with it spiritually. The hurt is there constantly, every day. It feels like it was yesterday.
Wow.
Every Christmas I make sure I buy an ornament just to know, and I know he doesn't know, but in something in me wants me to know some kind of way that he knows he is not forgotten, and Mommy thinks of you all the time.
Yes. And Debbie, I can relate to everything you just said, from the counseling part up to the Christmas part. Everything you just said, I'll go through it daily with the mothers in my group. And when you said that you went to counseling, I hear it. You know, it's just totally different. And that's why, and that's one reason I have the group I have, because some of these mothers had went to counseling, and then they come to my group session, and it's totally different. Because the reason I'm telling you that it's totally different, because all the mothers that's in this group can relate to what you're going through, because they go through the same thing. So these mothers understand the pain and the grief. But I can tell you this, when they come into Mothers Against Murderers, we start out with prayer, because we don't do anything without prayer.
Amen.
All right.
We start out with prayer, and God lead us and guide us through these sessions. And I tell you, I have mothers that have been with me since I started, and I started in 2003. That's when my nephew was murdered 10 years ago, in January the 1st, I think 11 years. And I started this, and they're still here. But they have learned how to heal, and they have learned how to help others. You see, and the reason they did that, because they can relate to each other. See, the counselor couldn't relate to them because they never lost a child.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, of course.
You see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Okay, so these mothers can relate to it. And when they come in here, they're a victim. And then they move to the second stage, which is survival. And the third stage of my group is advocacy. And that's when they can go out and speak to those kids. And some of the kids are in the facilities are the ones that did the crime. But we talk a lot about forgiveness, because we know we got a God that forgives.
Yeah.
So all that, and then that perpetrator can't have a hold on us, because we don't learn to forgive.
You know, I just want to interject there a little bit, Angela, because forgiveness is really hard.
Yes.
It's really hard. And even though my son, it wasn't an act of violence, still, I'm having a struggle even today as we speak. And I found my son Father's Day of 1994. Okay? Father's Day of 1994, I found my son. And if I tell you the truth, I'm struggling with forgiveness right now. I know who took my son. I know who took my son. And it was a woman that I trusted. It was a woman that I trusted. And it sticks with me on a regular basis. And it's very, very hard for me to... I keep telling myself, I've forgiven her. And sometimes I feel like I have forgiven her. And then, again, I feel like I haven't forgiven her. You know, am I making any sense here?
Yes, you are.
You know,
I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm up and I'm down. You know,
Yes.
there's days and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm over this. I'm okay. You know, I've forgiven her. I'm moving on. Then I have other days to where I'm like, you know what? This was wrong. What she did to me, what she did to my family, what she did to my children. You know, that I raised. You know. So I go on a seesaw sometimes myself.
That's normal.
So I can relate to what you're saying about the forgiveness part, because if my son, if I had, you know, I'm just thankful to the Almighty that I got my son back.
Amen.
You know, that I did get my son back. You know, and I was able to reunite my children. But in a situation like my friend Debbie here and other women out there in the world, or, you know, who have lost that child or that loved one and they don't get them back, that's got to be the worst when it comes to forgiveness.
It's hard. I'm not saying it's hard. It's a task. Believe me, I've been there. It's not something that's going to come right away. And for some others, you know, WYLEANER, I have seen it come right away, to be honest with you. And some others struggle with it. But we are human.
Yes.
It's understandable. So that's why I say you cannot heal in 9 weeks.
Yes.
That's why I'll close my door to these mothers like that. Say, oh, well, now you can move on. You know, after them visit a psychiatrist or whatever, and saying that they can move on. They can't move on that quickly.
Yeah, well, 9 weeks is unheard of, if you ask me.
I have seen it.
Look,
so,
I just told you I lost my son I found him in 1994, and I'm still not over it, even though I found him. You know, so I don't know how they can expect any woman to get over the loss of a child in 9 weeks.
And not only that, too, is the community. See, the community doesn't understand either when a mother loses a child, because they think a mother's supposed to get over it.
Yes.
I'm being frankly with this now. They'll ask a mother, you mean to tell me you haven't got past that yet? I don't know, Debbie, have you heard that yet from anybody you know, but I have seen it and I have heard it many times, numerous times. Because people just don't know what to say sometimes.
No,
you know?
People don't know what to say. But I must be completely honest with you. It took me some time to forgive, and but I have to honestly tell you that I have forgiven the 2 young men that murdered my son, and I have only been able to do that through the grace of God.
Yes.
And I know that my forgiveness in life depends on how I forgive others. And so, though I have forgiven them, I have not gotten over the death of my son. And people don't understand that. They confuse it. Well, if you forgive, certainly you have gotten over it.
No.
On the contrary, that's something, what I say, a true and real mother, she can never do. Get over it. You can get through.
Yes.
Right.
And try to carry on, but you don't get over it.
You don't get over it.
My son was murdered in 2003, and let me tell you, Angela, it never fails, and I'll never understand this. Come August, it was September 7, 2003, my body automatically in August starts going through some type of depression.
Yes.
An uncontrolled depression that comes from nowhere.
Yes.
Wow.
You don't get over it. You just pray through it.
That's right. And that's what I mean about forgiveness. I know these mothers don't get over it because that's why they keep coming back to the meetings. But they say the meetings help them. And when I'm telling you, this is like one big family. We have grown so large now. We're just like one big family. But they come in here cleaning Thursday nights, around 6:30 with tears in their eyes. But I tell you one thing I can say, before they walk out that door around 8:30, and sometimes our session goes longer than that. It's all 10, so I don't close my doors. You know, they were still talking, you're talking. So when they do leave here, they leave out here with a smile. They tell me, now I can go home and rest a little bit. Because I couldn't rest, that's why I came here. So that does make me feel like I did something for them, you know. So.
Well, I want to say, Angela, I think right now you're doing something. I think you're doing something that is reaching across the country right now, because you're talking with a lady that has not spoken out.
Yes.
And she was willing to come on this show and speak out in a major way.
Yes.
Because she's not even behind closed doors talking about it. I mean, she's actually speaking out to the entire world and letting the whole wide world know, you know, what she's gone through, at least a portion of it, and she is, you know, here to, you know, get some encouragement from you as a leader of an organization such as you have. So I think it's a blessing, you know, all the way across the board, if you ask me. My friend Debbie here, she's such a sweet person, and she has such a sweet heart, and for her to be able to step up and do this,
yes.
I'm sure it's not easy for her. And especially seeing as how she has made it perfectly clear right here on the WYLEANER show that she has not spoken out to anybody about this like this. She doesn't talk about it. So this is healing. I mean, nothing is just going to heal any, like you say, it's not going to heal any of us overnight, but this is still a healing in progress, if you ask me. Angela, Debbie has a lot bottled up inside of her, and I can very clearly see that right now, even as we speak. So just wanted to kind of say that.
Debbie, you took one big step. You just took a big giant step tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, you did. I'm telling you, when you can get to the point where you can speak about your loved one, your baby, I always say babies because they are our babies.
Yeah.
When you can speak about your baby, you're making a big step, and you just did that. And that WYLEANER is so right on point when you come in on her show and able to say that and share with your story with everybody, all the listeners out there. That is powerful itself, and nobody can let you do that but God.
Yes.
You know, so. But I'm reaching out to you, and I know miles and miles, 100 miles away from you, but I'm gonna call 24 hours a day. And people will tell you that. This mothers cover the entire state of Florida. When I set this organization up, I set it up for the entire state of Florida because I didn't know it was going to grow so fast. I had no idea. But I'm reaching out to you anytime you want my number. Anytime you want to talk about anything that you want to talk about. And if you want to get on a three-way call, on a conference call with us, when we have our circle healing, you can listen in on, I mean, you're 100 miles away, but you can listen and heal with us.
Thank you.
Okay?
All right, now, that's what I'm talking about.
Anybody else. We open our lives to that.
Yes.
And that's what I want to do. I want to reach out to mothers everywhere because we all need to heal from this.
Yes.
You know, so you just made a big giant step at night.
Well,
I'm proud of you. I know why we're proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm saying that's where the rubber meets the road right there. I should have known I was going to get a rubber meet the road moment on the WYLEANER show today. And that's it. Go ahead, Debbie. I still want to say something.
I have a cousin who, my first cousin, we were the closest growing up. A year later, her son was murdered as well, driving down the street, shot to death. And I have a huge family, but she and I are the only ones that can discuss this. No one else in the family can really understand. Not my mother.
That's right.
Not my children. Just her and I. we get to cry together sometimes. And now that I've met you, so to say, we can call you because your counseling or just what I'm hearing from you is so different from what we have received in the past and have unfortunately had to turn down.
I know. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, and I know what you're saying about your family. You know, in a lot of situations like this, Debbie, families don't want to deal with it. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to open those wounds back up.
Yeah.
They want those wounds to close.
Yeah.
But
It hurts.
Know, you're going to have to open those wounds up and deal with that wound, make that wound heal.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not going to go away because that's your baby.
Yeah.
You're going to always have those flashbacks. You know what? One thing you need to always focus on the good times y'all had together. That's important. What made that baby? What made your child smile all the time? What was his favorite food?
Oh,
you know, stuff like that. Little things like that. They are very, very important.
yes.
Memories are good. Pictures are good. I don't care what anybody say. Get rid of those pictures and put them away. I don't believe in putting pictures away.
No,
I don't believe in that because that was my baby. You got to deal with that. But see, in my case, I didn't lose a child, but I lost nephews and nieces like crazy. You know, and when I just lost a nephew last week that was shot 2 years ago, and he just died from his injury.
So sorry.
So I have lost a total of 14. Right here in Palm Beach County, 14 loved ones. Those numbers got to be updated, WYLEANER. See, but in my case, I have a large, one of the largest families here in Palm Beach County, so that's why it seems like I lost so many. But we did lose a lot. One is too many. I feel that losing one child is too many.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, so, but my doors, my phone lines, anytime you need to talk, please call me. Please call Mother's Gift Murder, especially on a Thursday evening. We do this on the first and Thursday of the month. But during the holiday season, our schedule, New Year's and Christmas, is switched a little bit. But in February, we do that on schedule. And you're going to call in on first and third Thursday of the month, and you're going to join us in the circle of healing. We call it the circle of healing. And that's where those mothers are going to learn to heal. And that's where you're going to learn to heal.
I would join.
It don't cost a dollar to heal.
All right now.
It don't cost some money to heal. So we're going to heal together.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Oh, wow. I don't know what to say. Oh, it's so wonderful. You know what, Angela? Can you tell us, I just want to know from you, I recall you saying something about how many funerals you have attended. That just really struck me as very interesting. How many funerals have you attended and why?
I have attended over 223 funerals. Unfortunately, I'll be attending one next week of my nephew. That'll bring me to 224. I have found myself drawn to this. I don't know why. It's God. That's the only thing I can say and Debbie. When we have a murder here, I get phone calls from the community because they know what I do out here, and I go to crime scenes as well. But I feel like I have to be there for the family and the mothers. I'm an outside person, but I'm an inside person. Because they have to have that connection. Because most mothers and fathers and siblings, they don't know what to do when their child gets murdered. They don't know. They don't know what to go left or right. But they got to have somebody there to help them to guide them to go left and right. So that's what I do. And I just find myself going to these funerals that show support. That we are here. Mothers Against Murders is here. And we're going to always be here. As long as you need us, we're going to be here for you.
Angela?
Yes?
I tell you what, I just know, that your organization has to be nothing short of a blessing to so many women and families. Just families, period, across the nation. I think it's just, I find it hard to even find the words to describe what I feel about what you're doing, and I think it takes a strong-willed woman yourself, considering how many losses that you've suffered along, and then of course you step outside of the box and step up to the plate and decide to, just reach out and funnel that energy, that negative energy, into something extremely positive, which is what you're doing. And not only are you reaching out in West Palm Beach, Florida, but you're reaching out nationwide. And I think it's been a total blessing to have you and my friend Debbie here. I believe that Debbie is going to be in touch with you, and I think that a lot of the women and families, they go through a lot of turmoil and a lot of numbness and that type of thing. And I think that an organization such as yours will be a healing to each one of us. And even though I haven't suffered that type of loss, I oftentimes I feel I need healing too. So I can relate with both of you. My girl Debbie here, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and we're gonna try to take us a quick break. We're going to come back. When we come back, we're going to play a song from my friend Skylar Jett. Skylar Jett was a Grammy-nominated entertainer, and he was the one that introduced me to Angela and made it possible for us to meet. So when we come back, we're going to play a song that was written and composed by Skylar Jett. But we're going to take a quick break right now, and when we come back, the rubber is going to meet the road. We'll see you in a minute.
Hi, this is WYLEANER, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel. First of all, I really do appreciate you listening and viewing my show every week. I would greatly appreciate your financial assistance as well to keep my show on the air. Please just make some type of contribution. $5, $10, $20, $50, $100 or more. Whatever you desire. Please log on to www.WYLEANERTVShow.com and click the pay button. Or please send me a check or money order to WYLEANER, that's spelled WYLEANER, to 420 North Nellis Boulevard, Suite A3, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89110. Also, if you would like to be a guest on the show, please call 702-242-2100 or email me at WYLEANERTVShow@AOL.com. That's all for now, and thanks again for your continued support. Blessings to you too, and this is where the rubber meets the road.
Okay, we're back, and we're back with Angela and my friend Debbie here, and we're going to share a song with you. Angela, from what I understand from Skylar, you've chosen this song to be your theme song for your organization, Mama, is that correct?
Yes. That's correct.
Okay, and it's called Peace is the Answer. And we're going to share that song with everyone right now. And this is my friend Skylar Jett. Skylar, I hope you're out there listening to your music, man. Okay, we're going to go to that song right now.
Everybody sing, y'all. Peace is the answer. Is the answer. Everybody sing. Peace is the answer. Come on, say it again, y'all. Peace is the answer. Put down that gun. Stop fighting. Mama should be laughing and not crying. Don't take his life. Take a higher ground. My brother, start praying to the Most High to turn your life around. Everybody sing, y'all. This is the answer. This is the answer. This is the answer. Everybody sing. This is the answer to all the problems of our world. Let's show the children all around the planet. Once you feel the love in your heart, then you'll understand it. We gotta spread peace all over to make a difference. And tell the leaders of the world, stop the violence, stop the violence. Everybody sing, y'all. This is the answer.
All right, y'all heard it right here on the WYLEANER Show, where the rubber meets the road. That was Skylar Jett, and that song is called Peace is the Answer. And Angela, I want to tell you thank you so much for being a guest on my show today. I really do appreciate it. If anyone is interested in learning more about Mama, you can feel free to go to my website, WYLEANERTVShow.com, and there's a banner. You click on that banner, and it'll take you right straight to Mothers Against Murderers. And Angela, is there any information you'd like to give out to everybody before we go?
No, you gave it all with the on your banner on your website.
Okay.
Thank you so much, WYLEANER, and Debbie. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and God is going to heal you.
All right.
I know He is.
Okay.
Call me anytime.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Debbie, thank you so much for coming on to my show. I love you, girl. I appreciate you for stepping up to the plate. Thank you so much. Listen, everybody, next week, it's going to be time to talk about Christmas. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. What should we do? Should we celebrate? Should we not? We're going to have 4 different point of views right here on the WYLEANER Show. This is the show, and this is where I'm WYLEANER, the Las Vegas Queen of Gospel, and this is where the rubber meets the road. See you next week.
There's a blessing now in your spirit that this last program just gave you. Please take the time to contact the ministry that brought you that blessing. Be truly thankful. Bless them in return. You know, often just letting them know is what keeps them on the air. And remember, prayer and financial support ensures it. Let them know they blessed you on KKVV Las Vegas.